players. And all you fucking naysayers, walk up or shut up, no crying, no cap. We lighting the mic like it's a damn trap. If you can bring the heat, then take a fucking seat. It's that pod with the balls where the big boys eat. With the heat, light it up. Set fire till you're fucking weak. Let's go.
Welcome back, Charles. Welcome back, Paul. Welcome back, Mike. Back-to-back days. I love it.
Hey, everybody. It's so good to see everybody again. Let's get into this. Absolutely, Charles. The pop culture universe has been buzzing with everything from royal intrigue to nostalgic reboots and celebrity curveballs. Here's a curated roundup of standout headlines from the past week or so. Brad Pitt and Tom Cruise are reportedly teaming up again for a grounded, literally new film. No fighter jets this time. Are we excited about this? Are we pleased? Do we even know what the hell we're talking about?
Was it even a new movie? No, he's doing a remake of a movie.
I thought he was doing a remake of a movie. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. It's not Top Gun, but I'm sure it'll be fantastic. Mission Impossible.
To be honest with you, I haven't confirmed this, but I think Russell Crowe is now in the new Highlander, and that's way more important to me than whatever the fuck I just said.
Who else down for Highlander?
Who else would you
Henry
put in
Cavill.
Highlander with?
No, Henry Cavill and Russell Crowe right now are in Highlander. If you're asking me, if you're asking me what I think that is, that means that Henry Cavill is the up and coming Highlander, and Russell Crowe is probably the Highlander that needs to get his head cut off. And it's going to be an epic 2-hour fucking battle. That's what I see.
How many heads are rolling in this movie?
It's Highlander 57.
That's what I mean. That's
over 50. Definitely over 50.
Over 50.
If I don't see at least 50 heads, Henry Cavill isn't in it if there's sub 50 head rolling.
Because even in Braveheart, we had 10.
Absolutely. Gwyneth Paltrow. Excuse me. I think I swallowed a fly.
A bug?
A literal fly. Does that mean I have to swallow a spider to get rid of the fly?
I hope not.
And then
you're fucked.
The fuck
why are you holding the wall up?
What do I?
There's no wall. He's holding the green screen up.
What do I swallow to get rid of the spider? Quick.
Water.
Was it a mouse? Yeah, it's probably just water. I'm gonna drink some water.
Yeah, just do that. Yeah.
All right. Anyways, moving on. Gwyneth Paltrow stirred up chatter with a topless breakfast post on Instagram, sparking commentary from The Today Show. Cool, another chick took her fucking top off. Yay.
Yeah, but it sounds
Scarlett Johansson dazzled at the Jurassic World Rebirth premiere in a corseted Vivian Westwood gown. It was glorious. Sydney Sweeney made headlines for that was not anything. I can't believe what I'm about to read. For selling soap infused with her actual bathwater. Hold on.
That's fucking weird perverts out there.
Sydney Sweeney made headlines for selling soap infused with her actual bathwater.
That puts a whole new meaning that I'll drink your bathwater.
Really?
Wait, that's a saying?
Yeah. There's a bunch of weirdos out there that said they'll drink their dirty bathwater of some chick that they admire.
Hey, I know there's people that buy the panties, the feet pics.
There's literal people that would drink somebody's bathwater.
There's a woman who got,
tell you something.
Woman got famous for farts in jars. I know that. Charles talked about that one time.
If I had the opportunity to drink Alicia Keys' bathwater, it's Alicia Keys, bro.
But you're not paying for it, Mike. That's
of course not.
That's the question, I guess.
There's nobody's dirty ass.
So there's a boundary here. There's a boundary.
Lines. That is a line I personally am not willing to cross. I don't give a flying fuck.
Mike's, I don't care if that stuff cures every disease that I've ever had.
I'm doing it.
To make me do it. I'm doing it. Get that fucking fly.
Dude, I don't know what happened. It's weird. I think I'm dying. But anywho, moving on. Kate Middleton caused a stir by pulling out of The
Okay.
Royal
All right.
Ascot
Wait. No, go ahead. Go ahead.
prompting speculation about her health and a palace PR scandal.
Yeah,
Zara-
she has cancer,
Yeah. Zara
Like-
Tyndall.
severe cancer.
That
Yeah,
was
very
weird.
much. Turned heads at the same event in a baby blue lace trimmed dress. Let's say, okay, so one's dying and the other one wore a dress. These royals are something else. Music and performance. Don't care about any of that. TV and streaming. Don't care about any of that. Events and culture. Fantastic Fest is bringing together. Don't care about any of that. The Tony Awards. Don't care about any of that. All right, here we go, team.
Let's just get into it.
Let's just get right into it. So Mike and I were having a fantastic conversation yesterday, and then Patrick came in and was like, "It's Monday, don't talk about sports." Ah! And I was like, "Yeah, he's probably right."
Hey, no, I heard some of the conversation. I heard you say that you literally need 100 more NFL players on your list. So you didn't do any. You didn't do any.
No. Oh yeah.
I caught some of it.
I did do, yeah. But the point of that, the reason for me not having anybody on my list yet, is I have now broken it foundationally down, and I'm struggling with this answer. And now I could tell you how I got here because I went through a bunch of different fucking teams, and there's a bunch of players like Christian McCaffrey and Fred Warner, or you've got the Eagles, but ultimately when it came down to it, it's funny that we talk about this team often, but the perfect team in this scenario to get everyone on the same page is the Cincinnati Bengals. Now, who is the most important player on the Cincinnati Bengals?
Joe Burrow.
Oh, Joe Burrow. Without Joe Burrow,
If
panel
the ball
agrees.
doesn't get out of his hands, the ball doesn't get to any of them. Though.
Okay. So take Joe Burrow out of this scenario. Who's the most important player now? Jamar Chase or Trey Hendrickson?
Jamar Chase.
Why?
I would say
Because they
Trey
still lost
Hendrickson.
games when Hendrickson had 5 fucking sacks. They didn't lose games when Jamar Chase had 4 touchdowns and 200
The only
yards
reason
receiving.
why I would disagree with you, and this is my opinion with Patrick, I would say Trey Hendrickson because I can't remember what his name was, but the backup QB that came in that one year when Joe Burrows hurt his wrist basically was able to manage the game with the same offensive side of it.
Correct.
If Trey Hendrickson is not on that field, they are significantly worse by a mile. Like, it's a notable difference.
But
And
they're
I'm not
bad
saying
anyway,
that,
though.
and I'm not saying that the guy that was in the backup QB at that year is better than Joe Burrows. But at the end of the day, when you're a backup QB and you're coming in, I just need you to manage the game. That's it. I don't need you to be a superhero. You're not here to replace Joe Burrow. You're here for 4 or 5 games till the season's over.
We're talking correct, but to Patrick's defense now, the question was, is the team worse without Jamar Chase, or is the team worse without Trey Hendrickson?
They're worse without Trey Hendrickson because Jamar Chase.
How are they? They would have never won a fucking game.
Even if you remove Jamar Chase, you still have T. Higgins. You still have solid offensive weapons on the offensive side without Jamar Chase. I'm not saying that they're going to be
other offenses.
Have we seen this before? Have we seen them play a game without Trey Hendrickson? Did they win?
They didn't win.
Have we
lot
see
of
him
games
play a
with
game without Jamar Chase? I guess you'd have to find the stats. Because that's the only way that you can justify your reasoning for it.
I'm like, it's valid.
When it comes to the top 100 players, though, this is where I'm stuck. Who's more valuable? Because if you think Jamar Chase, then your top 15 should be more offense than defensive players.
Which most
It
likely
always is going to be.
most lists are going to have more offensive players because right now the league is
Right.
more offensive friendly.
But now you take into effect somebody like Max Crosby. Max Crosby, like the Las Vegas Raiders without Max Crosby win less than 6 games.
Oh,
They were
easy.
without him last year for 4 games, though. He was out the whole last third of the season.
And they struggle defensively.
And they're in the top 5.
They still won
They
like 7
drafted top
games. I
5,
think
didn't they?
they still won 3 or 4 games without him. It's defensive players. It's hard because even the best player in the NFL, like you said, Hendrickson, he's only averaging at most a sack a game. Is it impactful? Yes, but if you can't score, what's the point?
So
yeah, but isn't the point scoring more than the other team? So if you stop the other team from scoring,
one time you stopped the team, one sack a game
now we go back
is more impactful than a guy getting 2 touchdowns a game. That's where I start to draw the line.
Average 2 touchdowns a game.
I'm not saying a defensive player isn't impactful, but to compare a superstar stud offensive player to a good defensive player, there's no question.
So, okay, what's more impressive in the last 2 years? What's more impressive? A defensive player that's led the league in sacks 2 years in a row.
36 sacks in 2 years.
Or last year's Triple Crown winner. Which one is more impactful to the team moving forward? If you were to have to remove one, which one is going to leave a bigger hole?
This is where age comes into it too, because Hendrickson is 30 years old, going to be 31. He's not going to have many more of these seasons. You're not going to sign the guy, that defensive player, to a longer contract. So that's the other part of it. That's the other part.
I agree with you, but I'm not looking at it as Trey Hendrickson in the top 5. I'm looking at it as a Trey Hendrickson-like person in the top 5. Because if you're guaranteeing me 17 fucking sacks a season,
he's not though. The last 2 years he was, but before that he wasn't.
But who's to say he can't do it again though?
But if you're guaranteeing me double-digit sacks, that is a game changer in the NFL.
Yes.
And
if you're getting double-digit sacks every year, regardless if it's 17, it could be 12 sacks a season for the last 4 or 5 years, and there's a good chance that you can get it again for a 6th year. You're an impact on the defensive side, and teams are planning for you.
Yeah. Now, again, Jamar Chase.
And it's not taken away from Jamar Chase.
It's not taken away from Jamar Chase. He is truly impactful.
But in this scenario, who's bigger?
I don't even know how this is even a question, to be honest with you.
I'm like,
I don't know where you're coming from, because Hendrickson is a top 25 player in the NFL. Yeah.
Yes.
Jamar Chase is a top 3 player in the NFL.
See, now here's where I get into the top 25 conversation. And this is where this is why I've yet to put pen to paper. I think if you're a top 25 player in the NFL, you go to a team with a hole and they're immediately a Super Bowl contender. So example, let's say Hendrickson goes to Green Bay, mirrored with what we already know, Bryce Huff going to Philadelphia. Now, when Bryce Huff went to Philadelphia, the conversation wasn't, that's why we're winning the Super Bowl. It was still all around Saquon Barkley. If Trey Hendrickson goes to the Green Bay defense, Green Bay's probably would be a bad pick because we ain't got no fucking idea what we're doing with cornerback.
Their defense, yeah, but here's the thing: Green Bay's defensive line is still way better than Cincinnati's.
I understand.
He's going to have way more opportunities.
Let's use an example then. Let's say Trey Hendrickson goes to Houston and lines up with Will Anderson.
Yeah,
that dramatically makes their defense a lot better.
That's a Super Bowl contender in my mind.
Because you got a young Will Anderson that's already proven that he can get it, and you team him up next to Trey Hendrickson.
You can't put a superstar on a superstar team. That you got to put him on a shit team is what I want to see. Is you got
to Yes, but in this scenario, you're filling a hole
Atlanta
for a Super Bowl team. No, you're filling a hole for a Super Bowl team.
Okay, that's fine, but you can do that with any player, though.
But not
you?
Not
I'm saying if you're going to do it with Hendrickson, do it with Jamar Chase.
I think there's about 25 players in the NFL you can do that with.
Wow,
maybe
probably
30 max.
I would say that. I wouldn't go so far as that many quarterbacks probably would make a difference, but definitely if 25 players, period, for sure.
This is where if the top 25 on my list is, you have to be that player. You have to be one of those.
No matter where you get plugged in, you can make that much better.
If you plug in a hole,
I'll put him top 10, but I can't see him top 5.
And again,
maybe.
Okay, but what about Myles Garrett?
Myles Garrett is going to be in the top 15.
So let me.
I like the guy from Kansas City. I like Kansas. I like Hassan Reddick. I like all those guys. They're all top 20 players for me.
So let me just read you guys quick my top 25.
Yeah.
So I got number 1. This called me a homer, whatever. Saquon Barkley. 2, Josh Allen. 3, Trey Hendrickson. 4, Jamar Chase. 5, Patrick Mahomes. 6, Pat Surtain. 7, Chris Jones, 8, Lamar, 9, Derrick Henry, 10, Jalen Hurts, 11, Josh Jacobs, 12, Justin Jefferson, 13, Zach Bond, 14, Myles Garrett, 15, Sexy Dexy from the Giants, 16, Jahmyr Gibbs, 17, A.J. Brown, 18, Joe Burrow, 19, Fred Warner, 20, Sauce Gardner, 21, Kyle Hamilton, 22, Xavier McKinney, 23, T.J. Watt, 24, Jaden Daniels, and 25, George Kittle.
Here's the problem. TJ Watt healthy is more impactful than Hendrickson.
But when is
You're
TJ Watt
right,
healthy?
but he wasn't healthy.
Yeah.
He wasn't healthy last year, but
And the
going
year
in
before?
this year,
I guess
the
my
year before
only
that.
question that I guess that
And
I
the year
could get
before
back-
that.
I mean, yeah.
He's-
is-
so
I'm not
if he's
saying
healthy this
you're
year,
wrong.
yes.
I'm just saying everybody's going based off of what if a guy was hurt. That's like McCaffrey. Like McCaffrey. Let's take Christian McCaffrey he went and had double what Charles you call it robot legs. He got robot legs now.
Yeah,
He's good to
yeah.
go. What do
Yeah.
you think, Mike? Do you think he's is he a candidate to come back to be a top 5, top 10 player in the league again if he comes back and has another 1,500-yard season, 800 out of
running
the
backs are a
backfield?
tricky subject.
No, because here's the problem, right? Like with the CMC right now, you have to, in order to be a top 5 running back right now, you have to top what Derrick Henry and Saquon did last year in order to be considered to be considered top 5. Like Derrick Henry almost broke 2,000 yards last year too. There was almost 2 of them. I like CMC. CMC's fantastic, and he's an impact player.
So you do have more faith that the Eagles will accomplish more than the 49ers, just so our listeners are aware.
8,000%.
Yeah. Yes.
I
yes.
just got
question.
one. Okay, go ahead.
Okay. So Saquon Barkley for the Giants was hurt all the time, and he had one good season with the Eagles, and now he's supposed to just continue doing that because he's not playing with the Giants anymore. And Christian McCaffrey gets one bad season after many good seasons.
He
with
had
the
fantastic
49ers.
seasons with one of the worst teams ever. Yeah.
Hold on.
And now Christian McCaffrey is not supposed to be a top 15 player. Where are we at?
but
I think he meant top 5 like player in the
top
NFL.
5. Yeah, but this is what I'm saying. Like Saquon, Christian McCaffrey absolutely could come back and be a top 5, top 10 player. I'm not saying it's impossible, but you can't come back being CMC and only have a 1,400-yard season. Like the 2 guys that are older than you both exceeded that. They're
Now,
both
just
on their
because you're the last person to do that, regardless of how close Derrick Henry got, was Adrian Peterson almost a decade ago, and then before that was our boys there. So
I don't
it's
think
like
we're going to see back-to-back almost 2,000-yard
1,400-yard rushing seasons is a good season.
That would have been top 3. That would have been top 3 last year. I think Bijan had 1,450 or 1,428 or something like that.
So I just missed the Eagles' enthusiasm. I love this.
No, but this is, I don't mean, and
Sorry,
maybe
Paul.
I'm confused because I'm talking about for him to be a top 5 player in the NFL, period.
Okay.
You have
okay.
not
yes,
top 5
yes,
in this
yes,
position.
Yes. Sorry, my apologies. Good.
So I have one question with your list, and
Great point. Mike.
and I hope I don't come off as ignorant, but this is just my opinion and point of view. Me personally, I feel like Kyle Hamilton was a better piece defensively than Sauce Gardner was last year. So me personally, I would have ranked Kyle over
I don't think
Sauce.
anybody would have. I don't think people would have argued with you on that.
And,
No,
and this is just based off of last year. And I'm not saying that
No.
Sauce can't go back to being what he was, but last year he was exposed a lot more. I feel like.
But to Mike's,
and I
Mike's
could have.
defense,
I
we're projecting
absolutely
top
could have.
100 for this year.
And I'm gonna assume projecting one is from this list is based
Okay,
on
okay.
what happened last
Yeah.
season, and that's my assumption. You can correct me if I'm wrong,
Yeah.
but for me, I would have put Hamilton over Gardner. And this is no disrespect to Gardner because he's one of the top cornerbacks in the league, and I know that Hamilton plays safety, so I know they played 2 different positions, but defensive impact last year, I feel like Hamilton probably should be higher than Gardner. In my opinion.
And those 2, I flip-flop back and forth a couple of times because you're right. In coverage, Sauce got a little bit more responsibility, and that responsibility showed a little bit that he didn't have the help that he necessarily needed behind him. Whereas Hamilton, being the help for somebody like Nate Wiggins, has that opportunity to be a little bit more solid and more productive. So I could flip. I can see the argument for either one. Those two are both.
They're both dogs. I don't want the audience to feel like I'm downplaying.
They're both top. They're both top 2 in their positions, period, in the NFL to me.
I'm like, Kyle Hamilton, since he's been drafted by the Ravens, has always been in the conversation as one of the top safeties in the league. And I don't feel like anybody can disagree with that.
I don't either. I think the kid is. Oh, you know what's crazy is like, there's days that I regret that how we took Jordan Davis over Kyle Hamilton. And then there's days that you remember that we didn't need Kyle Hamilton to win a Super Bowl.
Now you got two white boys.
Yeah, two white boys.
I don't think he's complaining about it.
I'm like, as short of a stick that might have been, it's a good short stick.
Yeah,
I'm excited about is your boy from Texas, Andrew Makuba. That kid is like. Apparently, that kid likes to just boom people, smack.
Both of y'all stole a lot from Texas, and I'm gonna need y'all to chill out. Y'all need to stay out of Texas. All right, stop picking out here.
Is what it is.
We don't got good players anymore.
Yeah. Okay.
But yeah, that was my question.
No.
I need to hear the list again, but I'm gonna ask you to take a picture of it because I want to see the whole list at some point.
We've got 60 days before our NFL draft, so we will definitely.
What we'll do beforehand, so that we have enough time for this, is we will do this all in a live stream. That way, we don't have to record it, and we don't have any restrictions on time or anything like that. And it's not going to edit the video; then it just uploads directly to YouTube and wherever else we need to go with it. But yeah, that's what we should do. Is like a 3-hour episode.
Just again, I would like to just cement that foundation in real quick. The reason I haven't made my list just gave us 24 straight minutes or 20 straight minutes of conversation.
Yeah, of course.
So it was golden. As you say, gold.
I imagine that you guys are going to pick mine apart because I'm way more partial to the offense than the defense. But yeah,
but that's okay. But that was actually something I told Mike. I said,
I love the justification for it. I love that you guys have opinions on it, that you can give me constructive feedback on it. I love it. If we all agreed, this wouldn't make it any fun.
No.
It'd be boring as fuck.
And then I wouldn't learn anything either, because when I listen to Mike talk about stuff, I don't know a lot about Philly. And when I hear Mike talk about Philly with the passion, I get to actually hear what it's coming from, and he actually gives me facts, stats, and everything else. Now, Paul, you do the same thing with the Bears, but then when Charles pipes in and tells you that you're wrong because it was actually 13 or 18 years, then that's when it gets a little dicey. But we don't try to do that to you very often. You did beat Green Bay last year, so at least you've got that belt to hang over your shoulder.
Undefeated this year against Green Bay.
Very true.
The Bears still suck.
They very much
anyway,
the Bears suck as much as the Brewers.
The Bears still suck. The Brewers don't suck. And the Bears, there's no comparison.
I was just waiting for you to say something.
It's the fly.
It was
Paul.
the delay. The biggest delay I ever seen in my life.
No, it's not even close. It's not even close.
The fly is tickling his throat.
I just had it up too. Son of a bee sting. Interesting. Oh, it was right here. This caught my eye. So Aaron Rodgers retiring after 2025 helps the Steelers. NFL urged clubs to limit guaranteed deals. Didn't collude. Fantasy football mock draft 12 team non-PPR. That was stupid. Brock Bowers thrilled to meet with Kittle and Kelsey at tight end University. Rodgers tells McAfee he expects 2025 to be his last season. Okay.
No surprise.
Sorry, I fell asleep. I thought we.
Come on, Paul, just get it out now because we're not going to have time at the end of the show. There you go.
Rodgers to McAfee. Conversation with Tomlin made coming to Steelers a reality. Anthony Richardson says you shouldn't worry about his shoulder. Why Foxworth Clark expect Daniel Jones to be Colts?
Charles, I have a question for you, Charles. Anthony Richardson's shoulder. Because last year you told me the dude should not be running into the offensive line like he's the bowling ball. And guess what happened? The first time he went into the end zone and tried to score on that third down play, I think it was, boom, shoulder. So yeah,
I don't know
we're all
what's
worried about it.
I don't know what's more
Yeah.
fragile, Tua's head or Anthony Richardson's shoulder.
To
You
his
know what's
head.
We're
not
about to
fragile?
find.
To his
No,
head.
it's
Hold
not
on.
fragile. Jaden Daniels' ankles.
No, it's not.
Bullshit.
No, it's his ribs.
His ankles are
Bullshit.
fine.
Bullshit. He got hurt. He got hurt.
Ribs.
Yeah, he never tweaked an ankle though. It was
Never.
ribs.
His ankles were intact. all
And he
season.
never missed.
Listen,
and he
I
never
had
missed a game.
I had a first, second, and third place, and I got show money on this. All right, I got show money on this, and the ribs was an injury that I had show money on, so I'm partially correct.
When did you have?
That's how it
money
works
on
in horse racing.
Yeah, but you didn't. You can get injured.
You
in the
were
game.
Not one
specific
time did I
about
say
his
that.
If a
legs.
player gets injured
Not
during
one
the
time did I
season,
say-
they don't miss. If they miss time, then it counts.
Yeah, not
He
one
came
time
back
did
the
I
next
say
week.
He
anything
came back,
about his
yeah.
ribs.
He
He
started
only
next
missed
week.
half the game. Yeah,
Of course, he came back last week. That was the week he beat the fucking Bears.
No, that
Hail
was
Mary.
that was the fail Mary.
yeah, that was stupid. That's when it all just went downhill.
Yeah,
Didn't mean to rip that open. So anyway,
all right.
no, I mean when we did
it's healed already.
when we did our live draft show, you know what hasn't healed? The Bears beating the Packers at the last game of the season.
I wouldn't.
blanked
I'm
it
holding
out.
too much water to that.
I know, but I blanked it out. Every time I hear it, it's news to me again. Oh yeah, they did. Oh yeah.
I'm
they
just
did.
gonna say this:
Go ahead.
the few fans that I still see, Bears fans, hold that one win like we did some shit, and I'm like, you realize we still fucking suck.
you can be happy about it if you're a fan.
I'm
That's all you got.
happy.
That's all you
I'm
got.
glad it happened. However, come back down. We didn't
That's
shit.
bro. That's the same shit. Like when the Commanders beat Philly after Jalen got concussed in the first quarter, and they beat us by 1 point, and they were fucking acting like it was their Super Bowl and shit, like they were the greatest team in the NFC East because they beat our backup quarterback. Like
Every team in the NFC North X when they beat the Packers. I know exactly what you're talking about.
Very true.
I'm not hyping.
Not wrong.
I'm not hopping on that horse. I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. Like I
For the
said,
longest time, we were the.
what did I
Super
say?
Bowl.
What was it like about a month ago?
Like
What did I say about
decades.
Caleb Williams this year? There's no fucking grace.
Yeah,
You
No,
get none from
yeah.
me.
we'll see. You got
He's
a bunch
not
of
gonna
yes
get-
men in that front office, so it's gonna get you.
he's not gonna get any grace from any Chicago fan. That dude, he flashed at so many points, and then other points he looked like he was a goddamn baby deer getting shot at.
I
Are we,
blame
are,
coaching
are we
for like
upset
85%.
that Jaden Daniels made a top 25 list, and I'm guessing
earned it.
Caleb Williams didn't make the top 100 list?
Not even a little bit.
I'm not upset about it. No,
Jaden Daniels earned it.
Who didn't make the top 100? You think?
Caleb Williams.
I'm not surprised.
Oh no.
I'm like, I don't know if you're trying to get a rile out of me, but I'm like,
I was asking a question.
I'm not surprised.
he was setting you up.
He's not good at it though. One day you might get me. One day. But the day that
Right.
you know what you're not gonna get me
No.
on? You're not gonna give me no jersey from Green Bay.
No, no,
That's
Paul, don't even,
never
don't,
gonna
even-
happen.
don't say Charles never got you. Charles got you with the diarrhea in the hand comment that one
Well,
time.
I'm talking about he's not gonna get me with no Chicago stuff, like because
Oh,
I'm like, I'm not delusional like a Cowboys fan.
yeah, you're listening. That's the thing. There's a big difference. They don't listen when they talk.
Yeah, I agree. But back to the injury thing. It was Jaden Daniels, and who was the other one that we were?
Oh,
the other one
Anthony Richardson in his shoulder.
Anthony Richardson. There is.
Does he have a
I'm-
glass shoulder?
Okay,
Yeah.
so Nostra football Dominus here, coming back at you. Would just like to take us back to. We're about to be time traveling, so get ready. Live draft show, our very first one. Charles was upset that Anthony Richardson went to the Colts. And everyone's, Anthony Richardson's a good player. And I'm like, no, I'm not talking about that. I'm pissed he's going to a team who thinks they're going to make him the number one tomorrow.
And
Fast forward. Here we are. Anthony Richardson is more or less ruined, but I
That
do
all-
believe there is a hold my beer candidate for this conversation. And it will be what Jacksonville Jaguars do
Travis Hunter.
to Travis Hunter.
Yeah, he could either be a fantastic corner, or he's going to be a terrible wide receiver.
he could be great for both of them, but
I don't think he's
going
a
to
great
run
wide
one
receiver.
route over the middle because he's got a terrible quarterback and he's going to get hit by an NFL person and his head's going to come off.
His route running is probably the worst of any NFL wide receiver prospect I've ever seen,
which doesn't help him even more.
No, yeah.
He plays
for the NFL.
The Texans are in his division, right?
Yeah.
So he's got to see that defensive backfield. Yeah, no, he's
again. I'm just.
Is Stingley going to be on him or what? Yeah,
I can see Jacksonville going. Let's ruin this kid.
Stingley on Travis.
I'm not saying that the talent is there. Everybody in this room will agree the dude is a phenomenal football player. But to go both ways just seems
it's not happening. It's not happening. He's not.
He could do it. They would have done it already. Dion.
What is he like? 5'11", like 185, 190, or some shit like that.
Yeah,
he was pretty tall actually.
You're not like
he's a tough SOB, but come on now. This is the NFL. This isn't the Big 12.
Yeah, you're playing fucking sometimes 235, 240-pound receivers.
And here's the thing, Mike, you'll agree with this. Paul will agree with it, and I think Charles will too. We never got to see him go up against an elite wide receiver. Like in Oregon, a Texas, even a Florida, an Alabama, a Georgia, hell, even Ohio State. He was going up against Big 12 competition. The best team they played, the quarterback averaged 300 yards a game, but it was like Texas Tech or something. He didn't go up against elite wide receivers, and he also didn't go up against elite defensive players either. His whole time he was he had 2 years at Jacksonville State.
I didn't say it. He took one hit.
And from the guy from Colorado State.
One big hit from the guy from that was a cheap hit. It was a big hit.
It was a very cheap hit.
Regardless on
6'1", 185 pounds.
Yeah, I was just saying, I thought he was he was just about as tall as I am.
6'1", 185 is not big though. That's pretty skinny.
I know, I understand. But can you look up Tank Dell for me, PR?
Yep.
Tank Dell is like probably the same weight, but he's probably 4 inches shorter. I think Tank Dell's
you can be obviously you can be a small guy and thrive. Like look at Devontae Smith. Look at Devontae Smith.
Is 5'8",
Edelman for the Patriots for forever. Yeah,
5'8", 165.
Yeah. Okay, he's 20 pounds lighter, and he's 3 inches, 4 inches, 5 inches shorter. I was almost right.
Yeah. Yeah. So
he's not little. He's not little.
Daniels was like 5'6", 145.
You just like being a dumbass.
Here's the thing, Charles. Why didn't he do what Marvin Harrison? Why didn't he do what Marvin Harrison Jr. did?
Josh Herbert. It's not.
You come into the league, freaking sophomore.
I get that, and it's funny that you bring that up because I feel like Marvin Harrison got hit in game 1, and the rest of the season he was like, I don't want to get hit anymore until I get bigger.
That fucker got big.
Oh yeah,
and then he got big. So I'm expecting a monster career for him.
He is a gigantic target now.
Yeah,
because
he's a very big target.
Did you see his rookie card? And then they put a picture of what?
It's not even the same human. It's not the same human.
Yeah, I'm telling you, he got hit in one and was like, "Yeah, no, I don't want that no more. I don't want that smoke." And did the best he could with the "I don't want that smoke" mentality.
And it's not like he had a bad rookie year either.
No, he had a
good rookie year, but now that he has this weight on him,
senior year.
But now that he has this weight to go with all the skills that he already possesses,
it's going to be electric. Like I'm really going to enjoy.
It's going to be a good 8 and 9
offense.
season for the Cardinals.
I think they play Monday Night Football one of these games against somebody.
Fantasy-wise, whose offense do you trust more, Arizona or the Jets?
On offense?
Fantasy-wise.
Not the Jets.
I don't know.
Ooh.
I still like Justin Field, though, man.
I was going to say, do you take Kyler Murray over the basically guaranteed, career guaranteed, as of this moment in his career?
This is a proven year for Justin. This is a proven year for Justin.
Well, this is Justin Fields getting an NFL contract, and this is retirement money for him. Let's be honest.
This fucking Steelers was his proving year. The last year, the Bears. The second year, the first year.
The Steelers had no giving him.
How many proving years are you going to give this kid, bro?
till he retires.
Yeah, pretty much. He's probably he's gonna go down as the only quarterback outside of Mark Sanchez or somebody that has a prove it year his entire season.
Either way, I think go ahead.
I was gonna say he's the new younger Ryan Fitzpatrick. He's gonna have 87 jerseys.
Do you think he's gonna retire with a team from that he started with? Is he gonna make the full circle?
I think athletically, Justin has Kyler. I think
Athletically, you think Kyler isn't? Kyler was like a 3-star athlete.
I'm saying when it comes to one, and then he has how many inches on him? Kyler Murray's a midget.
We know this. He's a spear throwing midget, but
he's also articulated back-to-back seasons having one of the top, if not the top, fantasy tight end.
This is true.
McBride.
McBride is a beast.
McBride,
It's going to be interesting.
Really, whoever was in that tight end slot, because towards the end of the year, it was every other game, whoever the tight end was getting 20 points.
It's going to, I don't know. I still think, I don't know.
All right, Paul, I'm going to hit you with something right now off the top of your head. What do you think had the faster 40 time at the combine? Kyler Murray or Justin Fields? What do you think? What do you think Justin Fields' time was?
He was 4.6, maybe 4.5.
That's pretty slow for a running quarterback. All right, Charles.
I said 4.83. He came from Ohio State. He ate nothing but donuts.
I would say it's a lot closer than we think it was. Murray ran a 4.38. Fields ran a 4.44.
Yeah, see, 4.83. Knew it.
4.38. 4.38. That's 4.40. 4.4. I like your enthusiasm with that. You almost had Paul with that one. Had you just said that for Fields, you probably would have had him.
Fucking weirdo, man.
That's pretty damn close. They're pretty comparable. Especially when Fields is probably got 5 inches on him. 6 inches on him. He's 6'4", I think.
I think he's 6'2". I think he's 6'2", 6'1".
And Murray's what, 5'5"? I don't know.
No, I think he's a 5'8".
5'8".
He's 5'11".
Is he?
I don't know.
Hey Siri, how tall is Kyler Murray?
He's listed at 5'10", but I think that's with cleats on.
That's with the lifts in his cleats.
Yeah.
Okay, in the recent news, this just popped up. NFL analyst Greg with 2 G's. Is that Rosen?
Oh,
Rosenthal.
Yeah,
Rosenthal. Sorry, Rosenthal stirred the pot by saying he'd rather have Rams running back Kyren Williams over Christian McCaffrey, citing Williams' durability and consistency, even though McCaffrey has the edge in production and versatility.
Are we talking career-wise or just moving into this next year?
We're going right into this season.
That's somebody with fucking recency bias who forgets who the fuck Christian McCaffrey really fucking is.
He saw
one of the greatest
greatest
fantasy football teams I created had Christian McCaffrey from the Panthers and Christian McCaffrey from the 49ers. Just throwing that out there.
I like it. I like it.
People
I'm like to just throw,
from New York.
it's like what you said earlier, to just disregard Christian McCaffrey all in all just because he had one bad year due to injuries. I'm like, injuries happen in the league. You're just going to disregard what he did the last 6-7 years?
And we cannot forget that the only reason Christian McCaffrey's injury hit us all so hard last year was because the 49ers were assholes about it.
Yep.
Very much with the information. They were just dipshits about it. Last minute alerts, everything.
I bet that Razen, what was it again?
Rosenthal
drafted that motherfucker in one of his leagues.
And
number one. And he lost to a guy with Kyren Williams, and he's like, that fucking guy's way better.
And again,
probably.
And this is not to take away from
buyer's remorse,
because he is a very good running back.
He's great.
But don't disrespect what McCaffrey's done in the league because he had one bad year.
Yeah,
that's insane to me. I'm like, nobody expected him to get injured like that and miss most of the season to the point where when he did come back, he re-injured his leg again.
Okay, where was I wrong? I was 100%. I was 97.9999999% sure Did you guys think I was going to keep saying nines here for a minute? Because I did. That Saquon Barkley was going to be injured before week 7. And my feeling for that was the same as my feeling has been for anything I've been right on. And I was hella wrong on that.
This is what people really don't take into account, the fact that one, he's running behind a much better offensive line. So there's no, like, his average yards before contact, I think, was like 5.4 last year. Something insane. So when you don't get hit,
basically ACL tear.
And the other thing too is
a sunflower seed and broke that motherfucker. That's where my mind was at.
The other thing too that people don't take into account, and I don't care how people take this, is he's also in a better facility. MetLife Stadium has ended careers. Like
lots of them.
I think the one thing that you guys are missing too, and it's just to add to one of the biggest difference that I've noticed in just the years that he was in New York and then just last year alone in Philly is, one, on top of the offensive line, he's running through holes versus in New York, he's running around to create a hole.
Running through people, trying to
get
free.
He's trying to find room to make a play versus the hole is already there for him to make a play. Or if he's doing a screenplay, the space is already there for him because the players are where they're supposed to be.
Didn't he tear something trying to get away from guys?
He tore his ACL.
Yeah, trying to get away from players. That was
ACL tear.
Yeah, he busted his leg wide open.
So now just mirroring this over, and I'm sorry, but we do have to exclude Mike momentarily because he has nothing nice to say about the 49ers, and we all understand that.
That's
fair. That's fair. So with that said, are the 49ers facility worse than MetLife?
No, they fixed that.
The offensive line
when it was when they played at Candlestick, it was fucking terrible.
All right, but
they fixed it. It's a way better field now.
49ers have a much better offensive line this year. They've had a much better offensive line than the Giants, regardless.
I'm like, you got two robot legs. You should have a good season.
You got George Kittle. You got Brandon Ayuk.
And they have a running back too. They have a running back that's halfway decent. They don't need to rely on McCaffrey.
They got Mason left.
They got rid of all of them. It's full.
I think Jordan Mason went to Kansas City. I believe.
Yeah.
Well, I thought they still got one of them. I thought they had the guy that they finished the season with.
Absolutely no hesitation.
Nobody's there. They're gone.
Nobody's there. Yeah, they're all gone.
It's
all
just gone. Pacheco and I think Hunt is still there, but that's it.
But that's weird to me. Because to me, Saquon Barkley and Christian McCaffrey are the same caliber running back. Like the one has their abilities that they're really good at, and they do it really fucking great. And one does have some things better than the other one, per se. Saquon's backwards leaping ability over Christian McCaffrey's one-handed catch ability, okay? Because if you wanted to just spin the fucking needle, you could say tiny things like that, but they're still a 1, 2, 3, or 4, or 5 quarterback in my mind when healthy, producing how they should. So it's wild to me. Like Kyron Williams isn't in that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, but it's fine.
Not yet. It could change over the next couple of years.
If you're taking the guy for fantasy, he's probably a good fantasy option.
Well, when you're paying your light bills, when you're a multimedia company, supposedly global, paying your light bills based off of clicks on the internet because your fucking content
you've got to piss people off.
This is what you got to do. So you got to go online and you got to say something like, I'm an idiot and I think Kyron Williams is better than Christian McCaffrey. And I get paid to think this way.
Yeah, that's crazy. The other thing, last thing.
Go ahead.
The last thing I wanted to say about a combo thing, one about that, and then a last thing about Saquon. About that, the guy, that opinion is, like I said, it's recency bias, but it's also a case of somebody who's paid to cover sports coming up with a hot take. So it's clickbait. Because look, analytically, there's not a fucking soul, not even Mel Kiper would take Kyron Williams over CMC. It's not happening. Statistically, it's just not. And the last thing I wanted to say about Saquon, the thing I realized when Paul was talking is the other thing that we left out is why he stayed healthier this year is he's not the only option. You've got A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, Dallas Goedert, Jahan Dotson. So while they were running him 20 times a game, A.J. Brown was still getting 7, 8, 9 receptions a game. So was Smitty. So Goddard when he was healthy. So I think the fact that they could use him in different ways, but also he didn't have to be the complete focus every single game, and better conditioning of the field and better off playing behind a better offensive line is the reason he stayed healthy as opposed to somebody like a CMC. CMC got hurt in Carolina and then just had a fantastic year, came back, rebounded with the Niners, and then got hurt again. I love CMC. The dude's, when he's on the field and he's healthy, you're 100% right, Chucky. He's 1A, 1B with Saquon right there.
No, I agree. The NFL has this funny way of repeating itself. And we are yet past the scenario where Saquon goes into his good team, has a good year, and then comes back and has another good year.
And just as much curses on his back.
And the dude's out there just Saquon filling his curses like they don't even fucking matter. He's literally spitting in the universe's face. I would be shocked. If something did not happen this year. But moving forward just a little bit, let's see. An independent arbitrator revealed that the NFL Management Council with Commissioner Rogers. That is so boring. Shut up. Packers compared to OKC Thunder, former NFL draft DT Nate Collins. All right. Creamsicle comeback and Rodgers hint. The Buccaneers announced they'll wear their iconic creamsicle uniforms for week
Good.
15.
I like it. I love those uniforms.
And don't give a shit about Aaron Rodgers. Let's talk about that real quick. Yeah. That's fantastic. The creamsicle uniforms.
Bring back the throwbacks for everybody. I love it.
Well, did you hear what they're doing?
Let's do a whole season of throwbacks.
They're doing like a
Evans creamsicle jersey. Definitely.
They're doing like some like City Connect rivalry jersey next year or some shit.
Yeah.
Dallas and Philly when we play not this coming up season, but in 2026. Dallas and Philly when we play our first game against them are supposed to be in those City Connect jerseys. So I'm excited to see what it looks like.
Nice.
And if we can get the all white Eagles helmet, that's what I want.
Alrighty. Anybody got anything else they want to add? Is there anything we missed? Got 59 days until our fantasy football draft, so you're going to be hearing a lot of fantasy chit-chat from us soon. Nobody else?
Can I go on a quick rant?
Whatever. Of course you can.
So it's been a long time. Most of the people watching know it's been a long time since I've been on. I've had some personal stuff going on and some mental health stuff going on. And we talked about it yesterday. We're moving to Mexico, but it's been rough. Like seeing the news and seeing people hate each other and the divisiveness in the country. And if you know me, I'm not a person who's afraid of confrontation, but I'm also a person who wants peace and who just wants people to love each other and just wants people to coexist. For me, I just have to say that like I'm over people treating each other like shit. Like I see it every day, just online or even in person, people talking down to each other, just treating each other like shit. Nobody has common courtesy anymore. It kills me to see a country that we signed our lives essentially away for, to not be the country that it's not the same as when I signed that contract. It kills me and it breaks my heart. And I guess this is just my way of saying, if you're watching, choose love. choose friendship, choose to be a better person. Like, you don't have to hate everybody. You can disagree with somebody and still love that person and still treat that person like a human. Like, my kids are growing up in a world that is so divided and so hated, and I just want to show my kids a world in which there's more love. So like I said, I'll end it this way. Choose love whenever you have the option to choose love.
Nice. Said. For all of our listeners out there, we thank the hell out of you. We appreciate the hell out of you. And the world is a much better place with you in.
Yo, it's time to dip. Lights low and the mic off. Boys with the heat, yeah, we blast like a Molotov. Said what we said, no regrets in the air. If you ain't subscribed yet, bitch, don't you dare. Rate it 5 stars, hit that share like a blunt. Tell your homies, tell your mama we on front. We the truth in the booth, no cap, just flame. If you fuck with the crew, you remember the name. It's goodbye, goodbye to the tribe. We fucking love you, now feel this vibe. Out this bitch with a mic drop kiss. Thanks for riding, we gone, but you won't miss.